Logston,
Here.
Kinsey,
Here.
Mossberg,
Here.
Parker,
Here.
Turner.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. Next item is approval of minutes of regular meeting held June 10th, 2019.
Chairman, I move we approve the minutes.
Second. Motion and second. Call the roll, please.
Parker,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Next item is reports from staff, city council report.
At the last city council meeting, the council did approve all of the budgets, so airport budget included in that. We've been getting started in the fiscal year projects, and probably the biggest thing going on right now is discussion on the upcoming GEO bond issue for the pool. Anything to add, Joe Don?
No, that's the biggest thing. We've got a couple of water projects we're going to just try to, well, one water project we're going to ask to release out on bid at the next council meeting. We've got a couple of water projects, well, a water and a sewer project we're working on, Skyline Road and the chlorination station, which is waiting on equipment. And we're going to have some surplus equipment that we're going to put up for sale here pretty quick. Got two more items need to get declared surplus, and then we'll have that. All that'll be done sealed bid. And that's all that I can think of right now.
If anybody has any questions, we'll try to answer them.
The extra culverts we have down here being used to repair Lynn Street.
I've talked, not for Flynn Street, they're not big enough, but I am talking to Benny about maybe using them down in Bud Rose Park to fix some of that drainage. We haven't come to a conclusion on that, but we are looking at that. We did talk about Flynn Street, but they're just not big enough. We need about a 10-foot.
Two of them side by side or something to make.
No, we need about a 10-foot culvert at that location.
Diameter or?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the surplus equipment he had? If you're talking about selling, if we run across stuff out here, could that go over to the city side?
It'll have to be declared surplus first.
Well, like we got an old Snapper zero-turn mower down there that's got a final drive out on it.
Well, what we need to do on that is just declare it surplus in this meeting, and
In a board meeting?
yeah,
Okay.
and then put it out for bid to be bought. Let somebody buy it.
I was just curious, so.
Okay. Anything else for the city council report?
That's all.
Okay, we'll go on next to the manager's report.
All right, we'll start off with the fuel report. Had a pretty decent month in fuel sales. Out at the avgas pump here, we moved 1,535 gallons. 1535.5 is what we moved out there to pump. 14.4 of that was for a test sample for calibration out here on the pump. So I had a total out there, 1521.1 is what we sold for $6,540.73. And then over on the truck side, had a pretty good month on that. Sold 648.8 gallons off the truck for $2,919.60. So our total avgas, what we moved last month, 2,169.9 for a total of $9,460.33. Did one small transfer to from the Jet A pump to the truck, so I could get a load of jet fuel ordered. Moved 727.2 gallons over to the truck from the pump. Then on our fuel sales off the Jet A truck last month, 895 gallons were sold over wing nozzle. sold 1,702 gallons, single point, for a total of 2,597 gallons at $3.40 is $8,829.80. So, did sell a couple quarts of oil, 1992 on that. And then we had Boyd King came in out of Great Bend. He stayed 4 nights. So we had 4 nights at $15 on the hangar rental for his 20 Comanche. Total sales for the last month was 18,371.89. On the Jet A sales, they were way down. We didn't have a Jet A sale till the 24th. And then when the Gulfstream 4 came in on the 27th, he took 1,702 gallons, so that really boosted our sales. So I like to have a Gulfstream 4 come in about once a week. But any questions on the fuel report? No questions? Okay. OCC came out on June the 10th, checked our gas pump. They check it every 6 months. It was out of calibration, so he gave me a notice of violation for that. Double check did come out last week on Tuesday on the 2nd and recalibrated that pump and got that squared back up. So I think we're good on what our Fuel Master receipts are showing and in conjunction with what the pump's showing on the meter. So had the part-timers working on getting the expansion joint sprayed. We have sprayed already once this year, but with all the rain, the weeds are just coming up everywhere. But Jake has been doing a good job on that. We got all the ramp, all the old taxiway, the old runway 1735, the main taxiway now, got that all sprayed again. We're working on the hangar areas now. Once we get all the hangar area expansion joint sprayed, then we'll start working on all the obstacles around, like the culvert ends and stuff like that, to get all of that sprayed so we don't have to weed those. On Saturday the 29th, I had a Mitsubishi MU2 came in here for fuel. The part-timers were working. I thought I'd come down and see how they were doing. It's first high-wing turbine that either one of them had fueled. They did say, they told me on one of the hoses that over-wing hoses out there on the Jet A truck that it was leaking a little bit. We don't use the front hose real often, but that day they were using one hose on the left wing, one hose on the right wing. They noticed one of them was leaking. I did have O-rings on hand for the nozzles, so I went ahead and changed both those Jet A over-wing nozzles, got the O-ring switched out on it, and they seem to be working fine now. Also last month I changed both the load port dust covers on the Jet A truck, so we got new bright red dust covers on it, hopefully keep out some of the stuff. On the 8th of June I changed the filter on the avgas truck, the filter for the tank, where the fuel filters before it goes into the aircraft. Went ahead and changed the hose. After I got the hose changed, we noticed we were flushing the hose that we'd let the handle off and the fuel wouldn't immediately stop. It was real slow to go in. I did go ahead and order a new nozzle for that truck and put it on. I'm going to take the old nozzle that I took off. I found a Jet A nozzle down in the storeroom that had been laying there for a long time. I'm going to send both those nozzles off and I can get them rebuilt, and we'll have a spare nozzle for each truck. So we had to do something though, because I didn't want fuel running all over the ground when we let that handle off, and it was slow to shut the fuel down. So got Hoydale back out here. They did come back out, replace the gasket on the westmost fill bucket out here at the Jet A fuel farm, the one that they accidentally glued down or had a problem with. So that's all all taken care of now. It's got a new gasket on it. I went out and checked it next morning, make sure I could get the lid off, and they didn't have glue on the lid and everything, so came right off now, so maybe that'll keep some of the moisture out of that. Alva Police Department came in here. I went ahead and worked this weekend. They stopped in on Saturday and asked if they could use the airport as one of their stops for the charity poker run that they're having coming up on July the 20th. It's for Kids for Cops. I told them I didn't think there'd be any problem using the airport for one of the stops. It is going to be from the hours they thought they would be out here on that stop about 1800 from about 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we'll just arrange staffing where we can have somebody out here. I'll come in at noon or something and stay, and we'll just have a part-timer work in the morning or something. So my last thing is I just want to know from the airport and from Joe Don and the mayor, if I have your guys' support on making decisions out here. I know there's some decisions that I shouldn't make on my own, but on as far as the basic decisions, I just hope that I have you guys' support. Which brings me to an incident that we had happen out here. A couple of weeks before the 4th of July, I put out flyers that said we were going to be closed out here for the 4th. And I hope I kind of took that upon myself. Holidays seem to be real slow out here. We have the signs out, you know, if they need to get a hold of us, they can get a hold of us on the cell phone. Anyway, I put those signs out a couple weeks ahead of time. On the 3rd of July, I was doing my end of the month paperwork and late in the day and realized that I'd made a mistake on my paperwork. So the next morning on the 4th, I went over to Harton to the parade, and I thought, well, I'll just come down here and see if I can figure out where I made my mistake. So I came down about 11:15 on the morning of the 4th, got ready to come in the terminal, and I found the terminal was unlocked, and I'd locked it up the night before. Anyway, I worked till about 2:15. The lights were on out in the lobby, and like I said, it was unsecured. We had the signs out that said we were going to be closed. So I found out, did a little inquiring later, and found out that one of the tenants had came out that morning and opened the terminal up and didn't lock it back up when they left. I look at that as a security issue out here. We have all our information, personal information on the computer in there. Sales receipts, invoices, people's names, the stuff out here in the lobby that we don't own, it's on loan to us. I just kind of feel like it's a security issue. We have a key hidden out here, and a lot of people know where that key is. And I don't have a problem with people coming in here, but when they come in here and don't lock it back up and leave it unsecured, I think we're all liable. I just wanted to point that out. My feeling is I don't think tenants should be opening up the airport when we say it's closed. And I just want to know what you guys think about that. I mean, it's been that way for a long time. I'm not trying to stir up trouble, but I look at it like it's a security issue. If there's no employees here and the terminal's been unlocked and not re-secured after they leave, I think we have a little bit of a liability issue. And I wanted to bring that to the attention of the board. We got the computer, like I said, not only the computers in each room, we have the big screen, we have all the stuff on loan for the museum out here, the credit card machine, I just don't like it being unlocked when one of us aren't around. And I wanted to bring that to the board's attention, so. And if we need to do something else, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to open up a can of worms, but kinda,
I would support whatever you want to do.
you see what I mean? I
You
mean,
making decisions, I mean, that, I'm gonna leave that, as far as I'm concerned, I can leave that in your hands. And whatever you wanna do, if you wanna lock it, if you wanna move the key, whatever you can live with, and live with the tenants,
right,
that's up to you,
okay.
as far as I'm concerned.
I'm good with that.
I was just worried, like I said, if I wouldn't have made that mistake and had to come down here that morning, I wanted to try to get that mistake
Yeah.
corrected.
It'd been open all day.
It
Have
could have
you
been
visited-
opened all day till 8 o'clock the next morning. Do we want that? I don't.
Did you visit with the tenant
No, I
that did
didn't.
that?
No, I didn't. I can do that, but.
Well, that's something I
You
think
know who it
maybe you ought
was?
to do,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
that, you know, hey, don't mind you going in, but when you leave,
make sure you lock
you
up.
need to lock it up.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise, the liability kind of goes on to him. And he left it unlocked.
Yeah. Like
I
I
mean-
said,
I don't know that, I agree with you, it should.
It should, but,
it
you know,
should,
if it
but
went
I'm
to court
still
with
the
it, I don't know, but
I'm
still.
still the responsible person,
Sure.
you know? and-
So, whatever you feel, but I would go talk to the tenant and try to
Yeah.
explain and reason the situation out.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I don't wanna,
What, just curious, what do the tenants, use the terminal for after hours,
Bathroom,
bathroom?
coffee,
Copy computer,
the computer for
Cough,
flight plans.
sit.
This has been nice Lynn incident. It
Uh,
hasn't been- It's been a nice Lynn incident. It hasn't been anything
yeah,
that's been
I-
occurred.
just like I said, it just worried me. When I got here 11:15, there's nobody here. I have a
Well,
sign out.
There's been situations where I've been out here and transit people have come in and I've came up and let them in the terminal to use the restroom or whatever.
Right.
But when I've done it, I make sure it's locked and I leave.
I'd defer to whatever your judgment is. I think you have a good idea what needs to happen out here in order for.
Like I said, I wanna be secure. I wanna keep everybody's information secure, and I'd hate to think about if somebody would, this is far enough off the highway, you know, it's one thing to have a break-in, but I can't prevent that, but, I mean, when the building's unsecured, who knows what, they could just come in here and walk off, and if they walk off with a computer, I've lost all my Oklahoma environmental stuff, lost all my Fuel Master stuff, I've lost all my sale, I mean, even though it's backed up, I mean,
A real thief, you can't keep them out of here.
right, that's true.
If they come in, it's a theft by opportunity.
But if we're not secure, I think we're giving them a little more opportunity if it's just unlocked and nobody's around. That's the way I feel about it.
What's the cost of a security camera or two? Just,
Depends on,
Depends on what you
Depends on the
get,
grade.
but you can get it
Yeah.
pretty cost effectively.
you know, that may be something, that way there's a continuous video of whoever comes in and out,
Right.
you know, if something.
Oh, and we have to have a way to let the transients in there.
Right. It's a difficult thing to do, and it's the unwritten policies varied from manager to manager into the past, and so
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's, but, you know, I agree with Dale, if you unlock it, you should lock it back,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, we, at the homestead, we bought everybody knows it's there, it's a coded, 9-digit key code thing, and it's got a box and it's got a key in it. So I don't have, you know, I don't have a hidden key where anybody can find it, you know, if they,
Right.
you know, look hard enough. But I've got it's a key code deal. You lock the key up inside of it. They call the manager can unlock it remotely, and then they can get the key. And the
We
manager
still got
doesn't have to
the
come
box?
in.
we got a key code box over here.
Do we?
Yeah, and any pilot, it's got instructions that any pilot knows the key code. If he reads the instructions, he knows what the code is. But a non-pilot doesn't.
You know, I think that is a reasonable way to do it. I think what I was going to finish with this one, I can tell who's, based on the code that was used, I can tell who opened it.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, like I said, I worry about security. I mean, personal information getting in the wrong hands, and like Dale says, I know we can stop and break in, but I just don't want people just to be able to walk in here, you know, from the highway on the 4th of July or Christmas Day or whatever, and, well, it's wide open. I mean, because they could. Like this day and age, you know, security's the big thing. Keeping everybody's information personal.
Keep honest people honest.
Yeah.
What locks do, keeps honest people honest.
So, okay, that's all I have, so
Okay.
that's,
Anything new on the grass runway?
been trying to keep it mowed and see if we can. I still haven't found anybody to run the packer, and I haven't had a chance to look for a packer. So, as far as the guy from Winoka, I still haven't been able to get in contact with him with everything else going on, so.
Okay.
Grass is coming on real good, so
Pretty
mowed it
good,
a couple of times,
It'd be good.
so.
Hoping it would, but,
I tried raising it up the last time I mowed it instead of lowering the deck all the way down too, and see if we can get a little more fill and maybe just with thick grass in between the ridges too, if that'll help, so. Okay, that's all I have, so.
Okay. Go on to the next item, item 5 and 6. We don't have anybody here to give a presentation on the plans, so we'll table those till the next meeting. That puts us up to item 7, update on the installation of water lines and meters to individual owners.
Well, just to keep everybody informed on that, I'm working with engineering to determine the most cost-effective route to bring in water lines. It'll be we've got a little bit more studying to do. We're trying to get it done with as few bores as we have to. I really don't want to bore any of the taxiways or access roads that we've got out here, if at all possible. But just trying to figure out the best and most cost-effective way to get everything installed. It's a little bit bigger project than just say, to plan it out and do it right. It's a little bit bigger project than just to start running water lines. So we're probably looking at least another month before I get a good plan to bring back to submit to you. Just wanted you to know we are working on it, but we haven't got the plan firmly in hand yet. And until we bring that plan back, I'll continue to have an update on the agenda to kind of let you know where it's at, where we're at on the project.
Okay. Any questions? If not, we'll go on to the next item, remarks and inquiries by airport commission members.
Refresh my memory, under other services and charges, we have professional services. The amount we've spent on that, are we waiting for the FAA to reimburse us on that? I'm assuming the professional services is for what they've been doing for developing the ramp and stuff, right?
No, the stuff that we would have had professional would be engineering fees. We've got,
Or is this our
Some-
5%?
huh?
Is this our 5% that we don't get reimbursed for?
No, this would be engineering fees but I can't think of anything that we're waiting to get reimbursed on.
Right. But we spent $65,000. So I was curious, I mean, I'm assuming the only thing we was, what else professionally would we spent the money on other than for the ramp and stuff?
There'd be some minor stuff with SBI, but, yeah, it's not $65,000 worth of stuff. Most of that's gonna be engineering fees. But I don't know, to answer, I can't think of I mean, it's engineering fees, it would've been for the ramp, it would've been for the development of, airport and FAA related projects. There may be a project that we're working on there that is reimbursable in a future year based on the work that we've done. But I can't think of anything that we've submitted money for. We've done work for, that we have submitted reimbursement to FAA and we're waiting for them to give us the money.
Well, I may errantly have assumed, but I assumed that money spent on engineering fees was like with Garver for them developing the plans for the
Yes.
ramp, which I assumed was part of the package that they submit to the FAA, of which we get some reimbursement back on those fees.
Then, yes,
Am
that would be
Am I
correct.
correct on that?
That would be correct, yes.
All right, so I mean, I guess in your accounting procedures in your office, do you keep track of those expenses that we should get reimbursed for?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you should have a handle on, so like if Garver's pulled in this surveying firm or whatever soil geological survey,
Right.
whatever it is they're doing, you know who that's going to, and that should be submitted to the FAA for future reimbursement or
Yes.
whatever, if it's.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of those, and most of what happens on those, like for the geotechnical and stuff like that, Garver pays that, and then when we get reimbursed from FAA, we pay it over to Garver.
Yeah, I'd say for this period, they said it's, apparently we're paying $6,000 for something.
Okay.
We did have one bill that was outstanding that had fallen through the cracks between the time they left and we hired CEC that we paid recently.
Okay. So whether this is Garver or CEC, we know what's being sent in, we know what will be reimbursable from the FAA.
Yes.
And do we also know, based on what we've approved at past meetings, when they've reached their limit of what they said they were going to spend in these areas?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
It's on the reports that we send in, that they send up, it's on the reports that we receive, that we then in turn verify on and pass on to FAA to pay.
Okay.
Where they're at on each, whether it's construction or whether it's observations or whether it's engineering.
okay. So in this preparatory phase, you are pretty much on top as to making sure that we haven't gotten double billed, that CEC is not
Yes,
redoing something that
yes.
Harbor's done and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, we have not been double billed on anything.
Okay.
We do check those and all.
Anything else?
I know that July is the month that you send out the billing for the tenants and things out here. I don't know if that's happened yet or not. But it seemed like, if my memory recalls correctly, the last couple of years, that has come as like a lump sum bill. Can we get an itemized bill on that? So like if you're renting more than one hangar, or if you have a land lease as well as a T hangar, that those are itemized rather than just one line item with a total on it?
I'll have Angelica check into that.
I know
Yeah.
she finished the billing up today, but I'm not sure on that, but I'll find out.
And then, I'm pretty sure it happened that way because there was, well, I'll tell you about an incident later on, that the reason it should be changed. But I would request, personally, I would request an itemized.
I don't know if she
I don't-
put them in the mail today or not, but I'll ask her in the morning and we'll find out what.
That's fine.
Anything else from the board members? If not, we'll go on to the next item, remarks and inquiries by citizens. Nothing there? Then we'll adjourn.